I don't have to do a game. Oh.
We get time.
This game recap. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that out loud?
All right, welcome to another episode of the Tigers Mining Report podcast, presented by FanDuel. I am Rogelio, because alongside me is just Chris Brown. Brandon Day is off this evening, as he is regretfully taking care of. Well, no, I'm just kidding. He's helping out his sister taking care of some dogs, so he's off this evening. And we'll get ready for Tigers baseball starting at 10:10 or 7:10 on the West Coast, as Justin Verlander makes his first start in 3,195 days, but who's counting? Apparently, a lot of people are. Against the Diamondbacks this evening. Diamondbacks called up a guy by the name of Jose Fernandez. I'm not sure.
Oh, they're the outfielder.
Yeah.
He's been off to. He had one of the best spring trainings of any prospect. I think he was on Pipeline. He was like their 27th ranked prospect, but he apparently had a monster spring. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and speaking of prospects, by the way, a bit of due to Dylan Smith, who was traded to the Giants for cash considerations. I thought that maybe he would perhaps get traded for like a catcher or something to that effect, because right now, the Tigers catching depth right now with the amount of injuries they've had. But cash considerations, undefeated.
Well, and if you look at it, there's a very interesting conversation between, if you're on Twitter, between Eddie Bajak and or Eddie Bajak. I don't know why I gave him a little extra accent there, and Mike Smith talking about, the Tigers are close to the tax threshold and actually getting $100,000 in cash considerations. They can remove that from that. It just gives them a little more wiggle room. It may have been preferable for them to have that room for more moves than catching depth in the minors, which they could theoretically, you can sign somebody from indie ball, right?
That's true. No, good point. And Eddie Bajak knows his stuff, so he's an engineer, and he's it's interesting. I talked before about like the multifarious ways that baseball fandom can sort of manifest itself, and for some people like us, it's following prospects and getting into the analytics, and some people love to keep score and go to every game and know every jersey number and stats. And some people dig way into all the various the ways of contractual minutia. And Eddie is one of those guys who gets way into that. He's got spreadsheets that keep track of every player in the organization. And so when there's any issue or question about stuff going on like this, he's the one that I look to. Yeah, he's a go-to guy for that. Charles, thank you for the $5. He says, I hope AJ moves McGonigal into the leadoff spot and moves Carper down the lineup.
Exquisite.
Not that, but I mean,
well, I mean, that's certainly that's kind of been one of the talking points early on in the season, right? Is Carpenter is batting leadoff and he just hasn't done anything yet. I think if he had been hitting or performing the way they expect him to, I don't think people would have necessarily much of an issue with it. Also, it's like Hinch's sort of maneuver, right? To get the opposing manager to have to move his starter, and that just hasn't come up yet. It hasn't happened yet where it's like a stroke of genius. Although Hinch, I did think, outmanaged Craig Stammen. I think.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's you just see this with young managers and former players. Sometimes they don't like you've got the bases loaded with Green and was McGonigal after him, or is Green, Torque, and McGonigal?
Yeah, he's after Torque. Yeah.
And he doesn't bring in Mason Miller, the best reliever in baseball, because Mason Miller's a closer. And his response was like, "Yeah, we're not ready for him to work more than one inning." And it's like, well, you get out of the jam and let Wandy Peralta pitch the ninth or whatever, right? Like,
yeah,
it's just
some guys are just trapped in that old mentality, and it's a little bit the same way with batting order, right? I think a lot of managers are still, and it's certainly changed, right? Where it's no longer like just your little speedy slap hitter up front. I wouldn't hate if it's a guy with a little bit higher on base percentage than Kerry Carpenter, but again, opposing managers aren't scared of guys who have high on base percentage. They're scared of guys who have power, and that's the whole point of having Carpenter first, because he's going to be the guy that comes up. He's bats third, the first. So there you go.
Jay Bowen said he did terrible in that spot last year. I think he batted like over 260 on that spot from when I did my research on
in leadoff.
Yeah.
Somebody pointed out that his best numbers were second or third, but they're always such small sample sizes that I don't know if it matters that much.
Yeah, I'm triple checking that right now, because I mean, Jay's might be right, and I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, I personally think he's better towards the bottom order. Batting first. No, he is. Jay is correct. Okay, it was batting second. I'm sorry. Jay is correct. His OPS was 705, but he batted 233, 280, and 425. So he had its worst slugging percentage batting up top. So.
Yeah, but also, I don't think it necessarily matters all that much. I'm sure there's a different mentality to starting a game as a leadoff hitter, but after that, you're just, guys lead off innings all the time, right? Throughout the course of the year. It's just 3 games. We'll see what happens. Hinch, this is the way he wants to do the lineup. I do think at some point we'll see McGonigal move up, but right now, like, there's not really any bad place to put him.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny, 30 years ago, maybe 40 years ago, Parker Meadows is your leadoff hitter. McGonigal's number 2. And then it's Torres and like Green, Torkelson, and Carpenter are all like number 5 hitters, if that makes sense. Like, that's what I used to think of like a number 5 hitter back in the day. Like, maybe not a ton of average, but hit for power, driving some runs. So
I do like what AJ said here. Hope to see the Tigers use ABS more. They could have changed the game on Saturday early on. Yeah, I know that Torque talked about that a little bit after the game, and the Tigers are 1 for 2 with Javi Baez being one for
3, I think.
1 for 3. Yeah, 1 for 3.
Yeah, McGonigal challenged and it didn't work. He also challenged in one of the final games in Colorado, the final exhibition games, and the same thing happened. It was a ball away from him that just hit the outside black. So
Sid Stone with the Journey is a great American band whose music will live forever. Wu-Tang, not so much.
That's I don't know if it's a quote from a movie, but it's incorrect. The Wu-Tang Clan is listen, their second album, Wu-Tang Forever. Case closed.
I know that was the I was waiting for a Wheel in the Sky reference or something. I mean, if we're gonna put Wheel in the Sky to Dollar Bill, y'all, I mean,
yeah, cream. But if you take all the solo albums, Only Built for Cuban Links, Liquid Swords, all the Ghostface's his second album was amazing. What is the name of that one? I don't know. It doesn't matter. We're getting sidetracked already with the Wu-Tang.
Yeah, we are getting. Yeah, we got that was a Sid Stone threw a nice little torque, little wrench in there. I like that though. I like the pop culture conversation there. Jay Bone, I think Dingler's doing it. Same with number 13. It's kind of fitting because Lance Parrish wore number 13. I don't know what his college number was. That's a good question. Yeah, go ahead and look at that. It could be that. But so with now, essentially, we have now Dylan Smith out of our list. Within a month or so, McGonigal is going to not be on our list. So we're gonna have 2 more spots going to move up on our top 50. So it'll be interesting. And you meant in the order. Okay, I'm sorry. You said the number 2. I'm sorry. There. The theory carpet.
Who was number 20? I don't know jersey numbers very well. So who's number 20?
20
of the current Tigers.
I don't. Actually, that's a good question. I don't know if there's a current. No, it'd be Torkelson, right?
Okay,
Torkelson's number 20. Yeah, Torkelson's number 20.
Sorry, this is a huge blind spot for me. It's just something that I literally don't see the numbers. I know McGonigal's 7, but that's about it.
And move him up second in the order if that's what he's referring to. That's
But Dingler was number 10 in college.
Okay, he's number 10.
So,
okay, yeah.
I'm trying to think. If the Tigers have 10. Is that Sparky's number?
No, Sparky was 11.
11. Is number 10?
Yeah. Number 10? That's a good question. I think that was. I can't think of anybody was last number 10.
Fernando Vina in 2004. Bip
Well, that's
Roberts
number
at
10?
98. Jim Leland's 10.
Oh,
So there you
okay.
go. There you go. I knew it was one of the managers. Maybe. I don't know. So yeah.
But yeah, so the Tigers again. Justin Verlander takes the mound here, and the Diamondbacks are a team that. I mean, the NL West is such a. They're off to an 0-3 start, so they're looking for their first win. They have Michael Sorka going for them tonight. What are you gonna say, Chris?
Oh, just they're 0-3, but they lost 3 games to the Dodgers. I think at Dodger Stadium, and 2 of them were 1-run games, and the Tigers can relate to that. They did that last year, and we still came away optimistic about the team after that. So I wouldn't, that 0-3 record doesn't mean much to me. This is still a pretty potent offense. Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte. Carroll's back, right, from his broken helmet?
Yeah.
I'm looking, let's see, what's their WRC plus as a team? Well, they're 59 right now, so their offense hasn't been doing much. The Padres are 66. Tigers only 77. So
Tigers offense is off to a very slow start. That was one of the things about this weekend that came away 2-1, and we're not going to nitpick. We can definitely nitpick a couple things, but one of the things that I was talking about this with Cody on Tigers territory was Cole Keith's good start. He's 4 for 9, I believe, and his bat speed's increased. He's hitting harder, and those are very good signs early on.
Yeah, that the Colt Keith bat speed increase is like the big league version of our Lucas Ellisalt throw harder wish in the minors.
Yeah,
and they both come true so far, so it's outstanding. I Colt Keith, very promising start for him. Torres with a great start, Dingler with a great start. McGonigal obviously, looks like a veteran. But yeah, the offense is going to struggle when your 3 big power bats aren't doing anything. And that's what happened. Riley Green's putting everything on the ground. Carpenter's not hitting anything. Torque had 1 big hit, but yeah, he struck out with the bases loaded that one time. And then the other time, instead of loading the bases for McGonigal, it just seems like he's conditioned to, when he walks, reach down and grab his shin guard, and he didn't even think to tap his head. I mean, he talked about it, but you got to tap your head in that situation, because it means the difference between the end of the inning and possibly bases loaded. Like, it's a huge swing point in the game, and it's just something that these guys, I think, will have to get a feel for as the season goes along.
Yeah, it's just going to take some time, and it's still early on. It's going to make a difference, whereas somebody got ejected over the weekend. Was it Minnesota's manager got ejected, right?
Yeah. Because he thought, and this is what I think we'll see this, when we see ejections for this, it'll be, he thought the guy waited too long to tap his helmet. You're only supposed to have 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen, because people are like, why don't you just make it a full ABS? And we saw that in the minors, and it wasn't great. In AAA, the results weren't as good as you'd think. Like, walks were way up, much higher than they wanted, and things were not good. So, but this is just, this keeps the human element in the game a little bit, and it adds some strategy. We talked about before, like, you waste that. I'm sure Torque didn't want to waste a challenge in the first inning, right? But you do it if it means you're keeping an inning alive with the bases loaded. You just do, and that's something, like you said, they just got to learn.
That's all there is to it. I mean, and Stan asked, what if the umpire takes too long playing time before he makes the call?
Well, you just, I mean, it's 2 seconds from whenever the umpire makes the call. So if it's, if he takes, you saw it, like, I don't know if you saw the CB Buckner, Eugenio Suarez thing where he got him on back-to-back pitches. Yeah, I mean, these umpires, they like their strike 3 calls. It's like their signature moment, and so they're going to embellish it a little bit sometimes. But the hitters can just stand there and challenge.
The captain said pretty quickly and then repeated it.
Yeah. What you don't. Yeah. What's interesting, you generally do not want pitchers doing it at all. We saw Skubal do it once in spring, and he was right. But the pitchers, it's very rare for them to have the. I assume most pitchers think that everything they throw is a strike, and they're very rarely landing straight directly to the plate with the perfect view of the pitch. So, catchers and batters, that's it.
Before we get back to the questions, I did want to move on a little bit and move to Toledo, who off to an 0-3 start. Yesterday, we watched the game. Thanks for anybody who's streaming with us live yesterday. Watched Max Clark have a good game. He had a double, a single. threw out a runner, and he had his third steal. He made a good catch. I'm sorry, he gunned somebody down on Saturday, but it was one of those things that Toledo comes. So Lehigh Valley ties it, and so then Toledo scores 3 runs in extra innings. You think to yourself, okay, this is a done deal. Go comes in, does not throw a strike at all, continues to struggle. Then Hannafy walks somebody, then allows a game-winning hit, and game over, essentially.
Yeah, it was ugly. Like, I feel bad. You feel bad for Gabe Alvarez. The first 2 games, the offense basically did nothing, and it was really cold, I think.
Yeah.
And they did a bullpen start on game 1. Salmon's pitched in game 2. I think he only gave up. I'm trying to remember if that was the game where the defense kind of let him down.
Yeah, that was because the starters overall pitched pretty solid.
And and as Charles said there, Perez campaigning hard for. I mean, Winslow Perez is he doesn't belong in AAA. He's a big leaguer. They just didn't have room for him. He didn't have the spring, so he's going down there, he's down there and he's performing as you would expect a big leaguer to do in AAA. And then the offense finally wakes up on Sunday. And then it's a series of like back and forth, like you said. I think they took the lead on an error actually. I think Clark got on base.
Was it the outfielder? They lost.
Young hit a ball to the center fielder. Center fielder lost it to the Sun, so it ended up as an RBI double. And then I'm trying to remember who came in the 9th, but they gave up a run. I think they put the first 2 batters on, gave up a run with 1 out, and then the Mud Hens hit 3 doubles in the 10th inning, go up 7-4. You think it's locked up, and then Woo-Suk Go comes in and can't throw a strike to save his life. Every fastball was in the dirt and low and away. Like, he had 0 command. They, like you said, he walked in a run, I think, or there was and Hannafy came in, got a ground ball, or he walked in a run, got a ground out, and then gave up a 2-run single, and they lost. Walk-off loss, 0-3. Not a great way to start the season. But it's very strange. For as much as, and that's, I think everybody thinks of Scott Harris and remembers his, control the strike zone thing. And Tigers love guys who throw strikes. They keep going after these relievers who do not throw strikes.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Jack Little was not good yesterday.
Jack Little was the guy in the 9th. That's who it was.
Yeah.
But like even the guys who have good arms, like Rick Vanasco, you see why they like him. He's got really good stuff. Not enough strikes.
Yeah.
Summers, really interesting stuff. Interesting angle. Not enough strikes. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they think they can teach these guys to throw strikes, but I put it in the slide. I think they had, as a staff, they walked like 22 and had like 27 strikeouts last week. That's just not going to cut it.
Yeah, and you know what? The one thing about the offense is going to come around. The weather, I think, has something to do with it. So you can sit there and say that all you want. It's not. I'm not particularly worried about the offense. However, I am worried about the pitching because just because like I just saw your sheet, Chris, and I just immediately was like, what the hell?
What?
The first, I was looking at the spring numbers of transactions.
Uh-huh.
And it's all like you'll see here in a second. Let me present this real quick.
Did it go off the screen?
No. It's just I was kind of in shell shock.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. I tried to, there were a lot more. A lot of them were like, so-and-so is assigned to Erie from Toledo. I'm like, well, that doesn't count. So I kept it to the injuries and, Max Clark and, that Sean Hunley.
Yeah. But the injuries are just like, holy cow. Like, just look at this. I mean, it is I don't want to say, I hate saying graveyard, but it is bad. It is really, really bad as far as injuries go. There was a better idea how to look at it. So, which leads me into AJ, that's a good point too. It's caused because they think they teach him to throw strikes. Charles, I think with Go has the stuff. Like his IVB was really up. It was like up 19, and I think there's potential there with him. It's just the command is off, and so the reason why he stockpile all these arms is simply, look at the IL right now. I mean, the IL is just it's just a literal, just like everybody you can think. It was so funny because we're in the backfields in Florida. We're thinking like we're not seeing a lot of arms. We saw a few arms. Don't get me wrong, and you can find them on our Patreon report for our paid folks. But I was just like, man, there should be a lot more guys out here, and they're not. And so, I mean, it's the Tigers are just trying to piecemeal together this for Erie. They signed somebody yesterday, a gentleman from Tennessee who was with the Rays. We think we're going to head to Erie. We're going to talk about Erie in a second because Erie kicks off their season Friday. The West Michigan Media Day is tomorrow. We thought Rainer Castillo was heading to Erie, but then they signed this guy, so it looks like he got sent to West Michigan instead. So West Michigan, because there was via his Instagram, it was Instagram. Shout out to Jake for that little bit of intel there. So West Michigan kicks off on Thursday in Lake County. Lakeland and Erie kick off on Friday. Lakeland is in Tampa, and Erie's playing at home this weekend. And I forgot who they're playing against.
Richmond.
Thank you. Okay, so it is Richmond. Thank you. Appreciate it. I haven't worn this hat in a while, so I've been busting it out. Thank you, Dookie Pickles. But anyway, so yeah, it's just the matter of how all these arms are going to fit in later on. I just think they're just trying to, I don't want to say they're throwing spaghetti. Well, you know what? I will say this. I think they're trying to throw spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks. I really do. It's just as far as that goes.
There's usually something about all these pitchers you look at and you go, okay, I see what they like about this guy. There's a reason these guys are in AAA. And this brings me back to Smith. What's it, Smith? Who am I thinking of? I'm sorry, my brain is
Dylan Smith.
Dylan Smith. Yeah, I don't know why. In my head, it was like Drew Smith. No, Drew Smith was like 10 years ago. It's just right-handed relievers are just, there's so many of them because listen, half the players drafted are pitchers, and like 75% of them are right-handed pitchers, and only a very small number of them become starters, even if they make it. And the rest of the guys, usually they get drafted because they have interesting arms and like one pitch or two. And so they all become relievers. And you can just find right-handed middle relievers anywhere and everywhere. They're just always available. It's I don't know, it's kind of like those nature shows. There's biologically speaking, there's like two ways to have kids, right? To propagate the species. One of them is the way humans do it. You have like one at a time, and you hold on, you're very close to them, and you pay attention, and you keep them alive, right? And the other option, and this is the right-handed pitcher option, is you have 7,000 baby turtles, and they just all go to the ocean, and you hope one survives. That's just the way it is with right-handed middle relievers. There's so many of them. Sometimes they'll have a moment, and then they disappear. That's just the way it goes.
As far as answering the question for Stan goes, by the way, they hit right-handers for more power, but they hit against lefties at a higher average. So there'll probably be some more home runs this week against the Diamondbacks.
And Chase Field the ball does travel well there. Javi Baez has crazy career numbers at Chase Field. I don't know if you remember that from. I thought I remember that from the last time I played there, like 3-4 years ago. When you remember Riley Green made like 8 diving catches. And Javi had like this monster series. So. But also, I think that, the Diamondbacks have a few guys who have pretty good changeups. So,
yeah,
I mean, you don't always necessarily need a lefty with a good breaking ball to get lefties out. But the Tigers do have an awful lot of lefties, so you would think there's an advantage there.
So, by the way, I like how you put 0.5 because technically it's not a full week, as we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, and we kept running into issues last year where it was like, oh, it's week 1 here, but week 2 there. I'm like, screw it. This was
0.5.
Week 1 next week.
And by the way, that was a good dig there, a good nugget there. I did not know Clark was the youngest player in AAA, or fifth youngest, but still, that's
I mean, that's one of the other things. Like when I was looking at it, I'm like, people seem to be forgetting this, right? Like they think like, oh, he's a bust. He had such a terrible spring and all the nonsense around him, and he goes out there and he has a solid week. Like he wasn't stinging the ball until Sunday, but getting on base, making defensive plays, stealing bases, doing everything you want him to do. And again, 5th youngest player, and the other, like the 4 behind or ahead of him are like, it's like Connor Griffin and 3 other pretty legit prospects, right? So he's doing just fine. He's well ahead of schedule.
Yeah, especially because if you look at the rest of the outfield outside of Corey Jukes, the Algeri, Stevenson, all struggled. Max Burt, who was signed, who's a former Yankee farmhand, 0 for 11. That was the parts of the game. Like it was frustrating to watch all weekend because they would put together some really good at bats and then just could not get the runners over. And then Eduardo Valencia really felt it. Valencia just kind of looked lost out there.
He looked late on everything to me, and yeah, not terribly comfortable. It's again, it's 3 games. It's a little bit of a mirror of the Tigers offense, right? Like Clark was doing his thing, getting on base. Wenzel had a good week. Anderson had a solid week, but the other big bats, Cruz, Valencia, and Young, they get combined to go 2 for 21, 4 for 33. Those are the guys you need to drive in runs. Yuli will be back soon, so that'll help. But yeah, you're not going to score a lot of runs if 3 of your bigger bats aren't doing anything. And then I didn't put a whole lot for the rest of the slides because there's nothing really to report yet, right?
No, yeah, and that's where I want to lead the next conversation to is that looking at what's going to look like. Why is this? Oh, it's still sharing that way. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out why it does this every time. Every time I go to change the layout.
No, it looks fine to me. I'm seeing you and me in the sidebar. Now I'm seeing me very large and in charge.
Okay, there we go. Oh, that's why. Okay, I fixed it. All right. So let's before we get to the Diamondbacks themselves and meet the Diamondbacks, I do want to talk about Erie's roster because Erie and West Michigan's rosters remain a mystery. The Tigers waited to. It was I'm not gonna lie. For us, every other team in big leagues had their minor league rosters out now. Tigers have waited till the last possible moment. They waited till almost 2 hours before the game time before even the roster became official. And even then on the on the Toledo's official site, it wasn't updated until the next day, I believe, or something to that effect. So I wish we had more details about the SeaWolves roster, but I think we could put together, I'm pretty confident that we could put together the starting rotation, the 26-man roster for Erie. Well, again, you can take props and bets, see how right or wrong we are about this, but here we go, Chris. I think this is an indication of the SeaWolves roster. So we'll start in the infield. We'll start with Garrett Pennington at first base.
First base, okay.
All right. Second base will be Jack Penny.
Makes sense.
All right. Shortstop, Peyton Graham.
What about John Peck? Is he going to be third?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. No, Peck's. Yeah, Peck's at short. Maybe Graham, maybe to be DH possibly because they technically don't have a DH right now because Lorenzo and Briseño are out. Third base, Pacheco. So you got that there. Mm-hmm. Outfield. So here's where the outfield gets a little interesting, Chris. So you got Steph Stevenson.
Mm-hmm.
So at center field, Brett Callahan. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But in right field, we're hearing that Roberto Campos might be in West Michigan. Maybe. I don't know how true that is, but that would be a very, very, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, he had a rough year for sure, and that would not be a good sign. But, yeah, I mean, like we talked about this before, unless they bring in some more, like, veteran bodies, I don't know who else you're putting there. What are the other options? You got Malgeri's up in AAA.
Yeah. Justice Bigby?
Yeah, Bigby. We did not see him. I don't remember seeing Bigby in the backfields at all.
No, I didn't see him at all.
Now, he certainly could be there, right? Like he's been in Erie the last few years. So that Trey Sweeney not listed on the Toledo roster. I assume, Stan asked if we are aware that Trey Sweeney is not listed on the Toledo roster. I assume it's because he's on the injured list.
Yeah.
They will, when he comes off the injured list, he'll be assigned to Toledo. It's just one of those procedural things.
I thought, Stone Joker, I thought John Peck was going to AAA. They made it sound like he was going to AAA, but I think it's based off with it said Max Burt. The signing of Max Burt probably prevented that from happening because I thought maybe go ahead.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the key thing is they want Peck, I think, to get as many reps at shortstop as possible. And if you bring him up to Toledo, you're also going to want to get Trey Cruz a decent amount of reps at short.
Yeah.
And it's just a crowded infield up there. Like his Peck could also play third and second. And it just makes more sense. He only had 30 games?
He got Yeah, I got called up on the same time McGonigal and Clark did. So
it's no harm in keeping him down there. And if he performs like he did in spring, he'll hit his way to Toledo pretty quickly. Like the Tigers don't necessarily ever advance guys super quickly these days, but yeah, he's only 23. Like he's not super old. Yeah. So 25 games in Double-A Erie last year. So, and the power didn't translate when he got there, but we saw plenty of power this spring. So
it could be a chance too that Pennington might play the outfield in right field if Campos is not there, or Campos, and then you still have Andrew Jenkins who will probably play first.
Yeah. Well, and if Chris Myers is there, he could play some outfield.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and there's another thing too. Yeah, Myers also should be. To me personally, I think he should be in Toledo, but roster crunch again. The same thing with that. Charles, yeah, I see your question there. Who's your favorite pitcher for people to pay attention to in Erie? Andrew Sears would be it.
If he's healthy. We saw him in the backfields. He did not pitch. We heard him say something about how he had the weekend. He wasn't doing anything on Saturday or Sunday, so I don't know what's going there.
Joe Miller would probably be the guy.
Yeah, Joe Miller is, and we wouldn't have said that before spring breakout, but he looked spectacular in the spring breakout game. And suddenly, our antenna's up, and maybe that's who we throw on the back of our top 50 now that Smith is gone.
Yeah, would make a lot of sense.
And he can continue moving up because. Yeah, I mean, that was multiple pitches, swings and misses on all of them, velocity up. It was look good. Who else do we have? Kenny Serwa will be there. Everybody wants to know about Kenny Serwa constantly. We didn't see him either, so maybe he's hurt too, but we assume that he'll be starting for them. John Stankiewicz, I think he's going to be there. Dylan File. I don't know. I mean, I had Jaden Ham in the rotation, but he might not be healthy either. Right, so
yeah. Hold on a second. I got something for this, Erie.
Never heard of half of these guys, and the ones I do know are way past their prime.
Most of these guys never had a prime.
Yeah, you know what? We didn't see him much this spring, and you never know. Carlos Marcano could go up there and start. We know that Carlos Pena can start. Lyle Lockhart can start if he's there. I think. Did he make it to Toledo, or is he on?
I thought he would. You know what? That's a good question. I thought he made it to Toledo. He should. I think he did make it to Toledo.
Did he? He didn't pitch it all this weekend, did he?
No.
He's on. Yeah, he's on the Toledo roster, but he did not pitch this week.
So maybe he's set for the rotation. And
I can see that.
He could probably start. He'll probably start tomorrow. They play a 3-game set in Syracuse starting. Or I'm sorry, 6-game series starting Syracuse tomorrow.
And we didn't mention Kyler Montero and Ty Madden. Montero looked great. He threw a lot of strikes. He did have a couple hiccups, but his velocity was down, but it seemed like it was on purpose. Like it was back down to 93, 94, got up to 95 a few times, was mixing in the breaking balls. I didn't see a lot of changeups. I have to go back and look, but yeah, he was at 4 scoreless. Like he looked solid. Madden came in and it was a little bit more iffy. He gave up some hard contact right away, and then eventually but got a lot of strikeouts, a lot of swing and miss, and walked a few. So that a lot of crooked numbers in his final line, but he showed some promise. It's just so weird with him to, go back 3 years or whatever, watch him throw a 96 to 98, and now he's sitting like 92, 93. And you're like, well, all right.
I mean, I think maybe it could be also he's just coming back from surgery, so it could be taking some time for him. Because that home run he allowed to the second baseman, that was a meatball, just like served
92
right
middle. Yeah, and that was what's his name? Son
Robert Stott.
Yeah, Robert Moore.
Robert Moore. Okay, Dayton Moore's son. Is that
Dayton Moore's son? Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. So Andrew Sears is probably your headliner. Charles down in Erie. I would say Joe Miller would be one to watch. But yeah, the rest of like the bullpen is kind of like a big pile of mystery, and I'm not saying that in a derogatory way at all. It could be you got like Moises Rodriguez. It could be if Marco Jimenez continues his upward trend. I mean, I know Dickerson. Well, I had a chance to talk to Dan Dickerson in the booth before the game a couple weeks ago in Lakeland, and he asked about Jimenez, who had a really good first inning. He made the start in the spring breakout. Was throwing 97, 98, looked really well. Everything had some velocity, some dip to it, movement. So, yeah, he's a guy to look out for. But I don't say that the SeaWolves bullpen's been cursed. Like last year, it's just they had a really good bullpen for 2 or 3 years in a row, and then last year it wasn't as nearly the same at all.
Yeah, they lost some of the key contributors, but a lot of those guys were just sticking around there for multiple years, and I think it wears on you as a player. Maybe you're not necessarily. And we saw some of the guys that were pitching down there did move up. We talked about Dylan Smith; he moved up pretty quickly. Troy Watson moved up, and I'm sure we'll see the similar thing. But yeah, now that they've put these more guys on the injury list, from my projections, I'm now down 2 relievers in Erie because Tyler Owens and Tim Naughton are both on the IL. So to go along with Joseph Montalvo, Jake Miller, Jose Briseño, Tyron Lorenzo, and Garrett Burhan.
Yeah, Sean Hundley is the guy who they signed yesterday, who will probably be. He could be in the rotation or in the bullpen. I'm pretty sure he'll probably be in the rotation. So we'll see what happens.
I'll throw Stankiewicz in the bullpen.
Stankiewicz, and then Samuel Gill, and thanks to Jake for this information via their Instagram story. Ricardo Hurtado, who I thought might be ending up in Erie. Catching wise, I just realized I go to Erie's roster. If you go to Fangraphs, they only have 1 catcher listed. So Bennett Lee is going to more than likely be your catcher in Erie, right? And then
it's possible. I have Aaron Antonini there and Joe Campagna there, but it's possible that they don't put Campagna there because he was an indie ball guy and he hasn't played in. He may be down in low A or high A. I don't know. But Bennett Lee, I think, would be the one that he's probably the best sort of receiver in the system. So he could probably go there, and you don't necessarily have to ask him to hit much. What you don't really want to do is put somebody there and then send them down right when Briseño and Lorenzo come back. So I don't know. Maybe they don't care with Bennett Lee or Campagna or Antonini. So,
by the way, no, we did not see Charles. We didn't see Witherspoon. We saw him walking out of the backfield. He was walking out when we were leaving, or when he was leaving when we were getting there.
Yeah, we didn't get to see him pitch. It's the backfields. It was really fun. So much going on. We would, if we were to do it again, we may need a third body. And if we were to stay there for 4 or 5 days and just go to the backfields exclusively, we would probably see everybody and know everything we needed to know. But 2 days got to give us a ton. But you can't see not everybody's going to pitch on the same day, basically.
Yeah, that's true. Archer Bookman.
Yeah, when all these injuries started to happen, I think I texted you maybe they'll try to get him back.
Yeah,
because he was a very quality organizational catcher, right? He actually hit a little bit down the low minors, and
he had a really good start at West Michigan last year. Remember?
Yeah,
he got off to a really good start. No, I think what we might do is you know what, you're right, Chris. I think if we get there a week earlier, that would be ideal. Next year, maybe we'll start to GoFundMe in November this time.
It's asking an awful lot of our hosts, right, for us to hang out there for a full week, and I wouldn't want to do that, but just
I did it before.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, they're super awesome, but I just I feel bad about it, but what happened with us is we could have gone on Sunday, but we went for a nature walk instead, and that was good for the soul. And then the other thing was that Thursday that just nothing was happening. It was an off day for everyone. So
Sunday, I don't think there wasn't much going on in the backfields either, from my understanding.
There might not have been. Yeah, who knows? But like we said, we got a taste for it on Friday, and then went to the spring breakout, which was great. And then Saturday was awesome. We saw so many prospects we wanted to see.
Yeah, Matt would be a good third person. I think he would be disciplined. Matt just go up where do you want me? Just point over there, and because at one point, like I said, it was interesting when we're hearing Koba, you hear the snap of the mitt, Chris and I both at the same time look. I'm like, oh, it's Koba, and so Chris quickly goes over there. I stay focused over there, and then to the right is Cash Kuiper, and he's facing. Why am I drawing a blank all of a sudden on the young hitters?
He was facing Warwick, Oliveto, and then also Penny and Hadeen. It was just you were up in the bleachers getting velocities and, doing the pitch tracking that we normally do, or we used to do it at all the games.
Yeah.
Now we don't have to do them at Toledo. But, and then I was kind of down at the fence with my little phone poking through the hole to try to get, video of him. And so it was like a 2-man operation there. And then, so then I run over to get Koba, and there were a lot more people there. There were scouts from other organizations there watching Koba throw, and a bunch of analysts. So I didn't feel comfortable going all the way up to the fence. So the video of that's on our YouTube page is not quite as great. It's not very long either, because when I went through and cut it up, I'm like, oh man, I only got like 8 pitches of Koba. But what are you going to do? And also, thank you to anybody who subscribed to YouTube.
Yes,
our channel. We are now up to 3,000, which was one of the goals, or our first goal here. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Much appreciated with that. As far as Mitchell's question goes, Witherspoon, Jacobs, and Lays, definitely you can see him in West Michigan. I 100%. Ben, we heard a lot of good things about Ben Jacobs. And Lays, I thought pitched really well when we did see him. So I personally think he should start at West Michigan. I mean, if you look at West Michigan's rotation, let's look at that real quick. Mm-hmm. He could also make a case to start in Lakeland, because you have Elisal Jacobs, you have Gabriel Reyes, who should start at West Michigan. Rainer Castillo comes back. You have Zach Lee. You also have Inhoa. I can't remember saying
Inohan Paniagua.
Yeah, Paniagua. Yeah, you have him, and then you have a decent. You have really. I mean, Daniel Evans is back in there. That's a pretty decent. Actually, that's a pretty good bullpen and rotation.
Yeah. So what's interesting now? It is we talk about kind of this absence of arms and bodies in general in Double-A, and but yeah, trying to find the right starters between Lakeland and West Michigan is kind of tough, because I'll just go through my last depth chart. Had Lucas Elisalt, Rainer Castillo, Hayden Minton, Grayson Grinzo, Gabriel Reyes, Carlos Marcano, Malachi Witherspoon, Ben Jacobs, Caleb Blaze, Kelvis Salcedo, Owen Hall, and Kel Wiska. All those guys in between high A and low A. And then in the FCL, you have Andrew Dunford, Blake Dickerson, Yonan Koba, Ryan Hall, Trevor Heichman, Eliseo Moto, Ali Tanner. They've got a lot of arms at the lower levels, and how they're going to break that out, I don't know. I'm sure that they're gonna have to challenge a couple of these college guys, I would think, to West Michigan, and maybe it won't be that much of a challenge for them anyway. Like Caleb Blaze, when we saw him, his stuff like didn't jump off the page, right? It was the fastball was like 93, 94. I think he got to 95.
Yeah, he got 95. Yeah,
had a slider, had a changeup. They all looked solid, and he threw a ton of strikes. So a guy like that, I think you could see at high A for sure.
We did not see Cenk Diaz at all. I don't remember. Did you see him walking around either? I
didn't. But to be fair, like we said this before, that there were a lot of guys that I saw who I didn't know who they were. Like there's certain people I know their faces, or they were wearing their jersey, and that makes it a lot easier, right? Or their jersey.
Yeah.
So he may have been back there, and we just didn't notice him.
I didn't know, but here's the thing: like, if Diaz would have pitched, like I was particularly paying attention to the right of me. There was two bullpen. They had two bullpen setups over there, and I was marking down who was throwing over there, because I wanted, especially because the one on the left, they were going to throw in that game in backfield 3, and then the one on the right was either going to throw that center field right there, that field 1 right there, or they're just doing BP, just to do BP. And I saw a bunch of names, but I didn't see Diaz at all.
Yeah, we definitely didn't see him pitch. And if he were back there, he wasn't wearing his jersey or whatever. But it's like I said, it's possible that he was back there. We just didn't see him.
Yeah.
And there were some guys that were there and watching the game from behind us in the shade, and they may have popped up for a little bit and we didn't even notice them. So, like I only saw Owen Hall when he came up to talk to Kel Wiska's parents. I never saw him milling about any other time. I saw Scheffelbein walking around a lot. We saw Paul Wilson a lot. We saw River Hamilton a lot. Like a lot of the guys were sitting around. So maybe Hall was off doing a bullpen somewhere else.
Yeah, Michael Massey, by the way, will not probably. It's not expected to pitch till the end of the year, maybe, possibly.
Well, they said 60-day IL. So we did not talk to him about that. I did. We did talk to Zach Swanson, and he said he had started bullpens a couple weeks before So he should be ready to go by the FCL season, I would think.
Oh, here's some good intel from Nick here. They're working on Owen's arm slot. There you go.
Well, I wonder if that's a response to the shoulder injury or a response to the pitching movement, right? But
he said that hopefully they can raise it to be much more effective. That makes a lot of sense. Is Chris Rodriguez supposed to start? I think it's going to start at the FCL.
I think so too. I would expect him to follow sort of what we saw from who do we see? Like at the end of last year, it was like Jesus Pinto, and like the year before, it was Briseño, Montilla, those guys that were in the FCL, and then they came up to Lakeland at the end of the year, right? And like Salcedo did that last year.
You know what? I was actually surprised not to see Salcedo in the backfields either.
Yeah, again, I think we would recognize him by his size for sure.
Yeah.
Like we saw Rainer Castillo partially because he's a big dude. So yeah, who knows what Salcedo was? Maybe if he was on punishment. But yeah, there were people we didn't see, and who knows? Like honestly, it could have been maybe he was with the traveling party on the first day we were there, and maybe I'm sure guys have certain like, oh, I'm not practicing today because my family's in town or something like that, right? Like they're you just never know. But yeah, what was the other question? Oh yeah, with Chris Rodriguez. We saw him in the spring breakout. They were felt comfortable putting him in that game, and he was very aggressive. And then we saw him doing live BP against I think Kuiper and Witwiska. I need to figure out. I should have asked the parents how to pronounce their name. But he did. He swung and missed at one of Witwiska's breaking balls, which I thought were really impressive. Like it was something that I don't think he really had last year. It was very limited sample size from Witwiska last year in Lakeland, and he showed the interesting looking fastball, and his changeup has like great shape on it. It's like a split change, very low spin. But I didn't see much in terms of breaking balls. But he was throwing a cutter and like a slurve that both looked really good. He got Rodriguez swinging on a slurve, not necessarily a huge bonus to get an 18-year-old swinging at a breaking ball, but then Rodriguez smoked a fastball to left field. So the power's there. If you throw him something straight, he's going to crush it. But I do think that he will likely be in the FCL, and then toward the end of the year he'll pull a Jude Warwick and pop up to Lakeland and see what happens.
So one of the arms I'm really intrigued, Grayson Gransil is a guy who will be interesting where he starts off at. Maybe he'll start at Lakeland. But the arm that I'm really stoked for, that I think that he surprised a lot of people, who I think, again, me, I have a soft spot for lefties. It's something that I, for whatever reason, I don't know why, I just do. But Grinzel is a guy that I'm kind of excited to see. How he contributes, I don't know. I would like to see him, but I'm still high up on Lays. There's a lot to like about Lays, only because his numbers after he got back from surgery were really promising. He pitched well in the Cape Cod League, and so I don't know. Like I think there's just going to be a matter of like the Tigers are due for some sort of I don't say luck necessarily, Chris, but there's so many arms, as we mentioned earlier, in the lower tier, that they kind of need at least three of the 10 or 15 they have down there to at least do something. Because you look at Erie, you look at Toledo right now, and I'll be honest, like Erie's just kind of a mess when it comes to pitching. It really is. Yeah,
and part of that is just the way that the cycle worked. This happens when you draft a lot of high school pitchers. There's going to be a logjam, particularly when they all get injured. So they went the college route last year, and you hope a couple of these guys will pop. Like Malachi Witherspoon obviously has the most impressive pure arm, but we've liked what's up. What happened? You made a face.
I just saw the Rockies score 13-1 over Toronto. Good Lord.
Are they in Colorado?
No, I think they're in Toronto.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Cody Pratt's got carted off.
Yeah, they just got swept by the Marlins, and they're kicking Toronto's ass.
Yeah, 7 runs in the 6th.
Yeah,
baseball.
Baseball.
But yeah, we've seen Wiska already, and I was impressed with what they have there. So Grinsel's a fascinating one because he's just like he's a lefty who I think his fastball is like 88 to 90, but it's got really good shape and deception, and he's got a really good changeup. So it'd be interesting to see what they could do with him. Jacobs is another lefty with supposedly a good changeup and really good mechanics, but he walked too many people, so you want to straighten that out. Generally, good mechanics and walks don't go together, right? So, and we saw Lays, he's impressive. So they have a lot of arms that we think can move fairly quickly. It'll take us a while to figure out the ceilings of all these guys, but it reminds me a bit of back in the day when it was Madden and Smith and Herter. We're like, yeah, all these guys are going to be big leaguers. Like you could tell pretty early. So hopefully we'll know by like May or June. Like, yeah, these are big leaguers.
Speaking of big leaguers, by the way, Chase Burns' strong debut today. 5 scoreless innings, just did not give up a hit until the 5th inning and kept the Pirates off the board, and they won 2-0. He allowed 1 hit, that was it, and then he struck out 7, walked 3. So the Reds have a sneaky good farm system. See Nick's Ben Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ben Jacobs. I mean, that'd be nice if he gets to Erie at this point. I like the Tigers. I don't know. I like the Tigers to be, have some balls and just go. You know what? Boom.
Well,
they're not going to do that though, obviously. But
I think they would if somebody is that impressive, right? Like if somebody comes out and looks good, like I think if this were 2021, or I guess it would, 2019, right? If Skubal looked like Skubal, he probably would have moved with this front office just like he did with the other one, right? Up to AA by the end of the year. So it wouldn't shock me if we see Jacobs at AA or Witherspoon at AA at the end of the year at all. So I mean, they'll want to manage their innings the way they do, but yeah, I don't think there's anything holding it. Like there's not a lot of guys blocking them, right? So this is not like, we got to get John Stankiewicz more innings. And my apologies to the Stankiewicz clan if you're watching. I don't we haven't seen your son pitch.
Yeah, no offense to that whatsoever. No, you might be right, Chris. I don't know. The pitching now that Gabriel is gone, they're just the next guy up in terms of assistance, everything. I just would love to see maybe a more of a challenge, a guy that they just drafted go into AA relatively quickly. It hasn't been the case. I mean, because you look at other organizations. I mean, you look at Burns. You look at Brett? Is it Brett? Who's the hair? The long hair guy the Reds have from Tennessee.
Oh, Louder.
Yeah, Louder.
Louder, yeah, he was at Wake Forest, I think. But yeah, he did move very quickly. Yeah, I mean, Chase Burns was the second overall pick. It was this time last year. I was watching him pitch against Kevin McGonigal and Max Clark at the West Michigan opener with Joe Miller on the other side and going, Joe Miller, whatever. But Joe Miller pitched a really good game. Like he's always known how to pitch. So I talked about it before. Like he did a great job of setting hitters up with soft stuff away and then throwing fastballs by him.
Nick, I got to ask you though, Nick, you have to, you got to be excited about, they got to be excited about Joe Miller down there, right? I mean, I would be, I am. And yes, Charles, how do I feel about Johan Simone? I think he has the same upside as Gabriel Reyes, except he's got a little more velocity to him. And I understand, it looks like Gabriel Reyes lost some weight too. I mean, there was some picture in the backfields that Terry, our friend of the show, Tiger Minor League Tracker, took, and it looked like Reyes lost a little junk in the trunk. Looks a little smelt. Svelte. I can never say that word correctly. I like Simone a lot. I like to see. He's a guy who I think, if they can continue to tap into he's got really good extension, velocity's there, and I think the Tigers got a really good deal with him trading for Chase Lee.
Yeah, it's to go back to what I was talking about earlier. He's a guy with interesting stuff who the strikes are seemingly optional. But he did get better last year. He was better at throwing strikes last year. So hopefully he was just a little bit wild to start this year. But yeah, it's a fastball that gets up in the mid-90s and a pretty good slider. So I don't mind that at all. I think Chase Lee made the Blue Jays, right? Which is then what made Connor Siebold available for the Tigers. So
it's all part of Paris' plan.
Are you talking about Jake Miller or Joe Miller? Because Jake Miller, is already on the 40-man. So
yeah,
I would think. I mean, we thought he was a guy who would have made the big leagues last year.
Yeah,
probably
absolutely.
out of the bullpen. But I always compare him to Tyler Holton. as a guy who could give you multiple innings, but I would think that he.
We already got sent down apparently.
Well, maybe that's not great, but he has options, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, and Nick also said that we can confirm that Elisalt was popping, right? Like what we wanted to see was average fastball was 91 last year. It was 93 in our look, up to 95. Wouldn't shock me if he's throwing harder. Mechanics still look pretty good. He was working on this breaking ball, we thought.
He was trying to throw the curveball early in counts to establish the first couple, like strike one, strike two with the curveball.
And he has a really shapely changeup too. Like he and Whiska both have changeups that are like sub 1,000. You probably call them splitters, right? They're like sub 1,000 RPMs. So sometimes they look really good. They aren't terribly effective because they look so different than other pitches. But I don't know. I think Elisalt's got. We've said it a bunch. Like he's got everything you want from a starter. Just needed more velocity. The velocity has come. I'm looking forward to watching him pitch this year.
Miller is still injured. So he's recovering from that double hip surgery. Double hips. Yeah. Oh man, it's brutal.
But yeah, they put him on the 7-day IL, not the 60-day, which is encouraging. Doesn't mean he's going to be back in 1 week, but it means he should be back in under 2 months. Yeah. So that's good. And yeah, he'll probably be back at Lakeland to start, and then he may go to West Michigan. He may go back up to Erie. He may go to Toledo. I mean, I kind of had him penciled in for Erie to start last year. He was there and then got hurt. But yeah, just hope for health from all these guys, right? There's some talent in the system for sure. We just need it to stay healthy.
Yeah, that's all there is to it there. So the Tigers game is about to start here, and they'll be underway shortly. So I'm going to get some caffeine because I'm probably stay up for a little long, not too long, probably maybe an hour or two. I'm going to try. I say try because I get up every morning at 5:30, 6 o'clock. I did take a nap before the podcast because that's what you do as a man in a certain age, where you have to plan your evening out. Going, all right, well, it's a 10-10 game. Let's see here. If it's 2.5 hours, and so
I also took a nap today.
Cold beef. Okay, so cold beef. Adam, just to explain it because he's off to a good start. 4 for 9, hitting harder. He's hitting faster. He's hitting faster to the zone, and he's hitting higher exit velocity. So that's Cold Beef was a nickname we came up with a few years ago when he got really big at West Michigan, and we just joke around about it,
Well, it was when he got to the Arizona Fall League. It looked like he had put on like 15 pounds, and he just was a big boy. And he was going to play some first baseman, and then he slimmed down again, and he lost like 7 pounds in this offseason. So. But yeah, bat speed's up, which you want to see. Theoretically, that's going to produce more fly balls to the pull field, which is what you need to see from him to get the home run numbers up. And if he does that, then you're looking at a Colt Keith breakout, a real beefarino.
Beefarino. Yeah, no, you're right. We did mention a lot of Miller. So Joe Miller they're both lefties too. So that's even more confusing.
Both drafted in the same year. It's not helpful. It's not helpful to anyone's cause that they're both Jake and Joe Miller both drafted. But yeah, Joe Miller looked great in spring breakout. So it wouldn't shock me if he was pretty quickly too.
And both, correct me if I'm wrong, both are in the East Coast, right? Jake, I know Jake went to Valparaiso, right?
Yeah, where is Valpo? Is Valpo in Indiana?
In Indiana. Yeah, but I don't think he was from Indiana. I think he was from the East Coast. I don't.
Yeah, Joe was from Penn,
right?
Which is Ivy League.
Yeah,
I think you might be right.
Jake Miller was from so he went to. Okay, so he went to Valpo, but I'm just trying to think if he grew up in Indiana or anything.
Let's see, Joe Miller. Joe Miller was with the Savannah Bananas.
So Jake Miller's in New York. So So all right, I wasn't crazy. Okay, so he was from the East Coast. So yeah, but Joe Miller. Yeah, Savannah Bananas. Jake Miller.
He went to Don Bosco, which is in New Jersey, I believe. But yeah, he's from Chester, New York.
There you go. So Tigers. Yeah. Oh, Gunther. By the way, Gunther started on Friday. He started the opener for Toledo. So he was the opener. He looked good. He was one among the last cuts in camp, and Sean Gunther is good to go. So he might get another start this week. I don't know how they're going to do the rotation this week in Toledo, but it's a full 6-game schedule this week.
Yeah, I think they went the bullpen start on the first game because they wanted to set up the rotation for the rest of the week, and the same reason they did a tandem start with Montero and Madden. I think that we'll see both of those guys get their own starts later in the week, and like you said, probably Lockhart. Who else is? Let's see, we got.
You have Salmons probably.
Oh yeah, we did see Salmons, so that's 4 of them. I'm looking who else might start.
Ooh.
They might not have another start. No, look at it. Like Troy Watson is on the 7-day, so maybe they will keep going.
Matt Sillinger, maybe.
But yeah, I mean, he's a reliever. Like
sure.
I think, we may see them continue to do the bullpen start because there you go, lack of starters in AAA. I don't know when Gibson Long's coming back. So
I think he's close though. I know he was throwing. I know he was throwing in the backfields. So he's getting close. I think he'll probably be back next month or so, next few weeks. The Toledo home opener, by the way, is next Tuesday at 4:05. Going to try to make it. No promises because it's during the middle of the workday, but we are definitely going to be down in Toledo quite a bit this year. And Erie is going to be not this weekend because it's Easter. So Ricky, thank you, Jake. So we'll get another bullpen start. Ricky Velasco will get the start for Toledo tomorrow. There you go, another bullpen start. He's off to a really good start. His numbers are indicating of that. But we'll, like I said, Erie in 2 weeks, Toledo next week. West Michigan's going to be. I got to figure out West Michigan too. So there's a lot to, logistically speaking, we're going to be hitting the road pretty soon. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for listening, and thank you for subscribing to our Patreon. If you're not a Patreon pal of ours, right? We just did a newsletter. That was free. It was for both available tiers, the paid tiers and free tiers. And Lockhart starting Wednesday. So there we go. That confirms that. So if you go to our patreon.com/Tigers ML reports, you can find it there. I'll actually put the link in there. I should just do that anyway. And you can join. And it's we have scouting reports will be behind the paywall. Our live looks will always be so basically while we're on live looks, you're going to see them behind a paywall. So let's just give you more intel for that. And a lot of content on there. And then of course the main website will be having our nightly recap starting this weekend when all 4 affiliates are in action. So stay tuned for Tigers and Diamondbacks starting in about 8 minutes or so. Justin Verlander making his triumphant return in a Tigers uniform. And what was that? There was a stat the Tigers PR department tweeted out that was really cool. Now my 88.
I did see that they're making there's a special shirt. I think that people are getting on Saturday night.
Really?
So Verlander is set to join Don Sutton as the only pitchers in MLB history to begin their career with at least 380 starts on their original team, followed by at least 175 starts elsewhere, and then return to appear with their first club.
That's a really cool stat. Yeah, Don Sutton, by the way, he did not miss. He was one of the few guys who never missed a start. So works 100% of the time, 60% of the time.
Don Sutton, 23-year career.
Yeah.
324 wins. Not bad.
A welcome home shirt. So there you go. Yeah. For Sunday Night Baseball, it'll be Andy Dirks and Jason Benetti on the call. So we'll talk to you guys later this week. We'll be out for opening day Friday. So look for us if you want to. I know that Nick, we got invited to a few tailgates. So if you see us walking around, obviously short Hispanic dude, tall, brown hair dude, pretty hard not to miss us or stop by and say hi. Come shake your hand. We'll talk some baseball. We'll be visiting Eat 'em Up Tigers. There's Nick is having a tent of some sort. I know some other of my friends will be down there, but and then of course we have a job to do. We have writing to do as well. But beforehand, we like to mix it up with people and come by and say hi. Stay classy. We'll talk to you guys later. And make sure you just don't get some caffeine before the game starts. Have a good night.